What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And I've got lead divisionals approaching in a couple of months, so that means it's time to get back into pretty good lead shape. So today we're going to be doing some hard climbs and then also some endurance. So let's get right on into it. Alright, so I warmed up on this 12D, which was actually pretty hard for a 12D. Like on the tag, it literally said that it could also be like a 13A, but it was still a pretty fun climb, and you had some fun moves and sequences in the middle, and it was a pretty good warm up as well. And then moving on to this 13B, I really like this one because it kind of like zigzags up the wall and all the holds are pretty positive, so it makes for like some pretty cool and fun sequences. And then it gets like pretty crimpy towards the top, and then there's this like really bad clip off the undercling and this foot that like feels like it's too high, and it makes the clip like pretty strenuous, but overall it's still a really good route. Now moving on to the hardest climb in the gym, which is this orange 13D. The first half of this climb wasn't that bad. It was pretty consistent the whole time, and then you get to some kind of tensiony moves in the roof, and then this weird upside down jug that's now like a pinch with this little jib, which wasn't too bad. Then you have to do this kind of hard throw over the lip, but the two crimps on the volume were pretty positive, so it wasn't too bad. And then after that is where I kind of started to break the route a little, because there's supposed to be like this weird crimpy bump section, but I just get like a high right foot on the crimp on the volume and just go straight for the big hold, and I just match it and go up to this kind of good sloper, and I was able to skip like 3 or so holds. And then the top gets kind of weird from there, because you go into this undercling, and then like the rest of the climb, all the force is just on your right hand, so it just gets like super pumped, and you have to be pretty accurate and execute like perfectly, and I was able to do so, and I got this in. Here's a video from my first try of the day where I messed my bait up like just a little bit, and that caused me to fall on the last move, because you just had to get it like so perfectly. Also, this wasn't on the same day, but it was like 2 days later or something, and this is the hardest lead climb at the other gym, which is also a 13D, and it starts out pretty chill on some pretty decent holds. And then goes into this crimpy tensiony section, and then this was my first attempt of the day, so I like kind of forgot the beta for a second here and almost messed it up. But I finally remembered that you had to get this toe hook right here and then do this pretty hard move over to the volume. And then this next part was kind of cooked, because you had to like jump up to this kind of good hold and then go to the crimp and clip off the crimp, but there was like no feet, which was like super weird and bad. But the next part, all the holds on these two volumes were pretty decent, and then hit this move up to the sloper, and once I hit that move, I pretty much knew that I was going to send the climb, but the slab at the top was still kind of tricky because I was so super pumped and just really fighting on like every hold. And then the last move to the lip, I just barely held it. Like when I hit the lip, my hands just like couldn't even close all the way, but I was still really happy to have gotten it done. Now back to the original session. I just ended the day off on some endurance circuits. I did 2 more sets after this one here, but I just didn't get them on camera. But yeah, that's it. I'm super excited for lead season, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe.